Animal tissues are broadly classified into 4 groups, but in this session we'll be covering the first 2. So epithelium is the covering or the protective tissue. It covers our body from outside like the skin, but it also covers most organs and cavities within the body like the mouth cavity. The inside of our cheek is epithelium. It also acts as a wall or a barrier to keep the different body systems separate, like the blood vessels from the organs surrounding them. It performs special functions in the alveoli of lungs and in tubules of kidney. There, it helps in exchange of materials between organs and their environment. Now, how does the epithelial tissue does that? What are its characters that help epithelial tissues regulate this exchange? Epithelial tissues are protective and cover, so they have to be tightly arranged. They should not have any gaps, and since there are no gaps, so there is very little cementing material present in between the cells. Now, for any material to pass through such a tightly packed layer is very difficult. So unless there is a gap in epithelium or some special mechanism, the entry or exit of substances across epithelial tissues is not allowed. Next, all type of epithelium are separated from the underlying tissue, that is whichever organ they are covering, by a basement membrane. The basement membrane is extracellular, that is, it is present outside the cell, and this is fibrous. So, now these are the general characteristics of epithelial tissue, but do you think all epithelial tissues are same, exactly alike? We just did many functions of epithelial tissue. Based on which function is more important, where these epithelial tissues are present, there are different types of epithelial tissues. Broadly, we classify them into 2 groups, simple and stratified. First, stratified means layered, that is, cells are present in multiple layers, while simple means only one layer. Besides these 2 broad classifications, there are also many subcategories that we'll do now. Besides covering, if an epithelial tissue is also providing for transport across organs, then it should be thin. Such tissues are made up of single layer of flat tile-like cells. Such tissues are delicate and are known as simple squamous epithelium. Squamous means skin-like and simple means single layer. So, simple squamous epithelial tissues are present in cell lining, blood vessels, in the alveoli of lungs, in the lining of mouth, and the esophagus. Now the skin, which protects our body, is also made of squamous epithelium, but the cells of skin are arranged in many layers. So these are known as stratified squamous epithelium. Now the multiple layers of stratified squamous epithelium prevents damage due to wear and tear. When the purpose is absorption or secretion, another type of epithelial cells are present, the columnar epithelium. The cells here are, as the name suggests, column-like, which means long. For absorption, these cells have cilia. Cilia are hair-like structures which perform coordinated movement, and these movements help to move substances in a particular direction. This type of movement occurs in your digestive system to push the food, and in respiratory system too. So ciliated epithelium is present in the next one is cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium have cube shaped cells and they are present in the lining of kidney tubules and the ducts of salivary gland. They perform the function of mechanical support. But besides this, they have a special function too. They are also known as glandular epithelium when they act as glands. These glands formed by glandular epithelium can be of two types. The first type is when one single cell acts as a gland, and these cells are known as goblet cells. So here only one cell performs the secretion, it secretes something, and because of its shape it is known as goblet cell. The second is when a group of cells form a gland by folding. So all these cells together secrete something which is gathered here in the folding and is later on released as and when required. So two types of glands are formed by glandular epithelium: single cell glands formed by goblet cells and glands formed by folding of many cells. Connective tissues connect, support or separate other tissues. They can connect directly or by transporting substances between two tissues located in different parts of our body, like the blood transports oxygen from lungs to all the cells. Now, one common feature of all types of connective tissue is that their cells are loosely arranged and scattered in a matrix. The matrix can be jelly-like, fluid, dense or rigid. It depends on where this connective tissue is present and what is its role. Now, blood is a special type of connective tissue with fluid or liquid matrix. Now, this fluid matrix is known as plasma. The cells are scattered in this plasma. Now, there are three types of cells in blood: red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. The fluid matrix or the plasma is mostly water, but it also contains proteins, salts and hormones. Another connective tissue is bone. This is hard and dense connective tissue. Because of its hardness, it is rigid or not flexible. The matrix is made up of calcium and phosphorus compounds. One very important feature of matrix is that the matrix is arranged in lamellae. These lamellae are known as Haversian lamellae. Haversian lamellae along with the bone cells together form the Haversian canal. The bones form the network that support our body, anchor the muscles and protects the main organs of the body, like the ribs protect your heart, your lungs, the skull protects your brain. Now here you can see the Haversian canal and the bone cells, which are known as osteocytes. Another type of connective tissue is cartilage. The cartilage has a special type of matrix known as hyaline matrix. Hyaline because the matrix is clear and glass-like. This is due to presence of lesser amount of fibers. And since fibers are not present, the cartilage is more flexible. It is not rigid like bones. The cells of the cartilage are known as chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are widely spaced with lot of space in between them. You can feel the cartilage present in your nose and ears. You can easily bend these organs. Inside your body, the cartilage is present in trachea and larynx. Now, these are two special type of connective tissue. The tendons connect bones to muscles. Now, these are less flexible because of presence of large amount of fibers, and these are very strong tissues. Our entire body movement is dependent on tendons because these are the ones which connect the bones, which actually move, to muscles which contract and relax to make the bones move. The ligaments are comparatively flexible. They connect bones to bones. They are more elastic and have very little matrix, like we just saw in cartilage too. Now, these are the loose connective tissue. They are basically of two types, the areolar connective tissue and the adipose connective tissue. The areolar connective tissue fills spaces inside our organs. It packs and supports our internal organs. It also helps in the repair of the tissues. This is present in between skin and muscles. Also around blood vessels and nerves. So basically, areolar connective tissue is a packing tissue. The next one is the adipose connective tissue. These tissues mainly store fats. So they have special cells known as adipocytes. These adipocytes are filled with fat globules. They are present below the skin and around our internal organs. They also help in packing our organs, but another function is, because of the presence of fats, they also act as insulators. Now, this is a diagram of areolar connective tissue. Here you can see different components of areolar connective tissue. There are two types of fibers that you can see, the collagen and the reticular fibers. There are also many types of cells in the areolar connective tissue. The fibroblast, which produce the matrix by forming fibers. These fibers are made up of proteins. The plasma cells, which produce antibodies. Mast cells, which produce many important chemicals like serotonin, histamine, heparin, and the macrophages. These are like amoeba. They are phagocytic. They engulf particles. So what do they engulf? They eat dead and decaying cells. Now, with this, we come to the end of this session. We've already covered epithelial and connective tissue. Try to answer these questions based on these two types of tissues.